Today, we're continuing the unboxing. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, make sure to watch it after this video. And for those of you who are new here, let me quickly explain what's going on. Every time I come back from a flea market, I do the same thing. I throw all my watch finds into boxes. No sorting, no testing, no restoration. Sometimes I don't even open the case backs to see what's inside. Then weeks go by, sometimes months. The boxes slowly fill up, and eventually I get to the point where I don't even remember what I bought anymore. That's when things get interesting, because every unboxing becomes a surprise, even for me. This box was filled over several months. Some of these watches appeared in my flea market videos. Some of them never made it on camera. Some cost just a few dollars. Others could turn out to be much more interesting, and some haven't been started in decades. So today, we're going to find out what's hiding inside. And before we begin, let me know in the comments. If you could keep just one watch from today's video, which one would it be? I'm really curious to see your picks. Alright, let's get started. We'll begin with this box right here. Judging by the weight, it's mostly Soviet watches. Let's see. Oh yeah, now this is a proper Soviet mix. Vostok, Pobeda, Zim, Luch, Raketa, Molniya, and that's only the top layer. This is exactly why I can never walk past cheap watches at flea markets. Most people see old metal. I see history, because every one of these watches has lived a life. Somebody wore them every day, somebody received them as a gift, and somehow they ended up forgotten in a flea market box, waiting for a second chance. Here's another Pobeda, another Zim, another Luch, all original, all with their own stories. That's why I keep buying them, and honestly, some of these watches perform better after a service than many modern budget watches. Oh, and I really like this one. Take a look. A Komandirsky from the Odessa Institute of Land Forces. Very interesting model. You don't see these every day. By the way, what do you think? Should watches like this stay completely original, or should they get a light restoration and a new crystal? Let me know in the comments. I always enjoy reading your opinions. Alright, what else do we have here? Luch, Molniya, gold-plated ladies' Luch watches, and... Hold on, what's this? An Omega movement. Interesting. Now that's the kind of thing I love finding. When you're digging through ordinary boxes and suddenly something completely unexpected appears. That's why I never throw anything away and always check everything carefully. Alright, let's keep going, because there's still a lot more to see. Let's move on to the next bag. I don't even remember what's inside this one. This is one of those bags I tossed into the box months ago and never opened again. Oh, right away we have some Casios. Another Casio. A G-Shock. Interesting. By the way, let me ask you something. Which brand do you think is the most reliable? Casio? Seiko? Citizen? Orient? Or maybe something else entirely? A titanium Citizen? And here's a Loris chronograph. I've always liked watches like these. A lot of times they look completely ordinary at the flea market, sitting in a pile of cheap quartz watches. Nobody pays attention to them. And then later, you realize they're actually pretty solid Japanese watches. Another Seiko, a Casio Edifice. Honestly, I don't even remember why I bought this one. There must have been a reason, but sometimes that's how it goes. You buy a watch for $1, throw it into a box. Then a few months later, you find it again and try to remember what made you buy it in the first place. Has that ever happened to you? Bought something and later forgot why? And now we reach the most dangerous part of this box, because this is where the Orients start showing up. A lot of Orients. Seriously, I think they multiply when nobody is watching. Every time I open another box, somehow there are more of them. Look at this. 1, Another one, an Orient case, another Orient, two more Orients, and another one. Be honest, do we have any Orient fans here? Or am I the only person buying every old Orient I see at flea markets? Because some of these vintage models look absolutely incredible after restoration. What else do we have? Citizen, Swatch, Casio, another Citizen, and all of these watches, every single one, is waiting for restoration. Now this is interesting. Remember that Rolex copy? I showed it before, and I still have no idea what's inside it. It looks strange, really strange. But sometimes watches like this end up being the biggest surprises. So let me know in the comments right now, what's inside? A Chinese movement? Japanese? Soviet? Or something completely unexpected? Leave your guess below. Later, we'll open it up and find out who was right. Honestly, I'm curious myself. Alright, let's keep going, because we're not even halfway through this box yet. Alright, let's keep going. And honestly, I'm getting curious myself about what else is hiding in this box. Because some of these bags haven't been opened in months. Oh, look at this! A whole pile of post-Soviet watches. These, and these too. Most people would walk right past them. But sometimes, the most interesting finds are hidden among watches like these. And here we have a Raketa and a Poljot. By the way, let me know in the comments, which one do you prefer, Raketa or Poljot? I feel like that debate will never end. And take a look at this Poljot. Beautiful condition. Seriously, for its age, it looks fantastic. Watches like this usually need very little work. Clean the movement, service it, replace the crystal, and they're ready for another few decades. And here's another interesting Orient. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you already know I can never walk past old Orients. Especially the models from the 1970s and 1980s. This one is full of ladies' watches. Orient, Casio, Seiko, lots of different models. And you know what's interesting? Women's watches are often in much better condition. Most of them were worn more carefully. Here's the entire bag. We'll go through them properly another day. Oh, look at this! 2 Amphibias. Mickey Mouse. Now that's unexpected. Watches like these always get a lot of comments. So tell me honestly, would you wear something like this? Or is it a little too unusual? And this one I really like. Take a look. A Komandirsky with the Ukrainian flag. Very cool model. And there are more Komandirsky watches hiding in this box. Honestly, Komandirsky and Amphibia watches are a story of their own. Every time I think I've seen every variation, another unusual version shows up. Oh, Molnia, another Molnia. By the way, how many of you collect pocket watches? Let me know in the comments, because my Molnia collection seems to be growing on its own. More Soviet ladies' watches, lots of different ones. And honestly, when flea market sellers offer watches like these for 50 cents or $1, I simply can't leave them behind. Because even if half of them become donor watches, the other half usually pays for the entire purchase. That's why I often buy whole bags without even sorting through them. Then I get home and discover what I actually bought. It's basically a lottery. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you find something special. That's exactly why I love flea markets. You never know what surprise is hiding in the next bag. And somehow, I feel like the best finds are still ahead of us. because this box isn't even empty yet. Oh wow, look at this beauty. A Tissot. These are exactly the moments I love most. You buy a watch, throw it into a box, and then a few months later you find it again and get excited all over again. Because I still haven't even checked if this one is running. Can you believe that? The video where I found it was posted over a month ago, and I still haven't had time to test it. So let me know in the comments, what do you think, running or not running? Personally, I'm hoping for the best, because it looks absolutely fantastic. Another beautiful Orient. Just look at that dial. This is exactly the kind of watch that makes me stop at a flea market table. Not because it's expensive, not because it's rare, just because it's beautiful. And here's another Orient. At this point, I think there might actually be an Orient factory inside this box. How many of you own an Orient? And what's your favorite model? I always enjoy reading your stories in the comments. Alright, now here's a Seiko 5. Beautiful watch. Look at the condition. Sure, there's work to do, but the potential is huge. Most people see scratches, dust, a worn crystal, a tired case. But when I look at it, I already see the finished result. A fresh service, a polished case, a new crystal, and suddenly it becomes a completely different watch. That's probably why I enjoy restoration so much. You're giving these watches a second life. You probably remember these, the Rado. Remember when I found them at the flea market? Well, they're still waiting for repair. And honestly, I'm very curious to find out what's wrong with them. Look at that hand. See how strangely it moves? What do you think the problem is? A broken pivot? A movement issue? Something else? If there are any watchmakers watching, leave your guess in the comments. Later, we'll compare it to the actual diagnosis. Oh, an Orient President. Very interesting model. Also waiting for restoration. Honestly, many of the watches in this box could become restoration videos of their own. I probably have enough projects here to keep me busy for months. And remember, this is just one box. One box. Can you imagine the scale of the problem? Because I have several more boxes just like this. And every single one is packed with watches. Sometimes I think I buy watches faster than I can restore them, but then I open a box, find something interesting, and remember exactly why I keep doing this. Take a look at these, Edox, beautiful watches. And the best part? They don't even need a new crystal. Honestly, I could photograph them and list them for sale right now. I just haven't found the time yet. Here's an Orient quartz. A Seiko chronograph. Fantastic watch. More Orients. More beautiful dials. Sometimes I think a great dial sells a watch better than any famous brand name, because that's the first thing people notice. We're finally getting close to the end of this box, but if you think that's everything, it's not. There's still more waiting at the bottom, and more importantly, this isn't even the last box. In the next video, we'll open another one. And honestly, I'm just as curious as you are to see what's hiding inside. So let me know in the comments. Which watch from today's video was your favorite? Which one should be restored first? And which one would you take home right now if you had the chance? Because when it comes to flea markets, the best finds usually appear right when you think there's nothing left to discover.